Hello there, Seraphim17 once again. This is my Call of Juarez, Gunslinger, True West difficulty walkthrough. This is chapter 13, the good, the bad, and the dead. And the latter part of that sentence is going to make a hell of a lot more sense later on in this level, because you're going to be coming up against some old friends in an extremely strange situation, almost ethereal sense of first-person shooting action. And how the hell did that miss that many times? I have problems with the shooting on this game for these reasons. You see this shit, folks? My gun is on these fucking people and these bullets are just not hitting them. It is so baffling at times. But this is probably the hardest level on the game. This is the level I was dreading the most on my recording run because I had a really tough time with it on hard, or very hard, or whatever the difficulty below True West was. And this section right here is not the reason. This moment is very easy. If you've played any game that utilises slow motion, you will know that constantly moving is going to mean no one can hit you, and you can hit them. So all you have to do there is circle strafe like you've been doing since the good old days of Doom, and punish people. And once you're done, it's going to come back from slow-mo, it's going to come back from the black and white sepia-toned with red enemies mode, and we're going to be progressing forwards through a mission that is kind of challenging. And it's challenging for a few reasons. Firstly, it's foggy. And any game that uses fog to hide visuals in today's day and age is a pretty mean game. This guy here killed me so many times on hard because he surprised me a whole bunch of times. And with the shotgun pellets, it can be tough to tell what direction they're coming towards you, and he almost every time puts you into the down but not out, dodge the bullet to survive moment. And if you dodge into the pellets, you will die. So he killed me more times than he should have. Kind of cheap if you ask me, an almost mandatory moment of life or death, which is not necessarily skillful really. Sure, it's a bit of a reflex test, but it's not a challenge, it's just the unpredictable nature of it kind of fucks you over, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but that it is what it is. But fog, I haven't seen fog on a game since N64 days, where every fucking game had fog because they couldn't pull off a decent draw distance, and they didn't want to show you the world popping into vision in the distance because it would ruin the immersion, the little immersion that we had thanks to how games looked. But because there was nothing really better at the time aside from high-end PCs, you didn't really have any notion of what a better looking game was. So these games were fine, the fog was fine, you just kind of admitted it. And it plagued a lot of games in that era because it was the only way that they could process these things effectively. And consoles now are so much more powerful, as are PCs, and you don't see it as much unless it's intentional to be an environmental distraction or hazard, or if it's a design choice to add some suspense, add some tension. And this here is more of an annoyance than any kind of mood builder, and it does prove to make it more difficult because you can't see. Your exposure is harder to pick out your enemies, and everybody else seems to see you like you're running around with a red neckerchief on like half of these dudes are. And it's an old school trope making into new age games to try and mix things up, make this level feel different to the ones before it, to try and help you, not notice that all you're essentially doing is shooting dudes with a gun. And it's an admirable ploy, but it doesn't work because a couple of sections in this level are tough because you die faster than you seem to have died before. I don't know if that's because the enemies have become stronger, I don't know if there's a gradual increase in damage output, or if they're just using the better guns that deal more damage. I'm not entirely sure. What I am sure is I think I died once or twice on the recording run of this level, which doesn't sound like much, but it is on a game that I barely died on. But once again, I would have to really look at the live stream because I can't remember, it's been a while, and unfortunately Twitch has deleted the live stream that I did for this. And anybody wondering why I'm speaking about a live stream, I live streamed the recording of this guide. It was the first time I've ever done a live recording, and it was a lot of fun. I wasn't at my best, I was a little bit distracted, but at the same time it got the job done, so that's all that really matters, I guess. But this is where the dead part is going to make a lot more sense, because you're about to take on ghosts of people you've killed. And the biggest problem with these ghosts is because this level is already foggy, they blend in really well. And if you can look just above the barrel of my gun to the right of it, you'll see a white figure, similar to something that you've seen from a horror film. That is in fact an enemy, and that is what the enemies are going to look like for the next sequence. And they can sneak up on you rather well because they're tough to see, they're very accurate, and they do take more than one shot, a couple of them, so just bear that in mind. Like, this is Pat Garrett, so he took 2 rounds from our rifle. But just use your cover intelligently, pop out, kill the enemies, do the first-person shooter 101, and you're going to be pushing your way forward, tripping those checkpoints, staying in cover, and just being as intelligent as you can. You've done this all before, folks. The only real thing I need to talk about is the cemetery shoot-off coming up, and that is just a big arena fight of dudes, which I found a pretty decent spot, which can rely on some luck or better reflexes than I had at the time, because I was doing these strategies on the fly to try and do something different to my first playthrough, and they just so happened to work, which is always cool, but at the same time it can be a little bit rougher or more callous than what it would be if I'd have done it the same way I did the first time. But I'm in a bit of a strange mood today, guys. It's been a bit of a weird week, and I don't really know why. And some people might call it like a mild spout of depression or something, but I don't think it is. Because to me, we live in a culture that diminutizes depression, and I think depression is a really powerful and life-threatening thing, because it does affect folk. And I just think I have my ups and I have my downs. I don't really like to overclassify it or overcomplicate it more than just, I've had a shitty week. But the thing is, I haven't had a shitty week. That's the strange part, and that's the part that doesn't make much sense. And I'm not too sure if it's because my YouTube channel is underperforming to my expectations, which is just a constant. So maybe it's just that, reminding myself that I'm not doing as well as I would like to be doing. It's actually been my birthday, and, I'm getting a little older. I'm now 26 years old, which is old as fuck, and my career hasn't really started. My struggling to get into the games industry or the games journalism aspect or anything that is passionate and creative and challenges me, as opposed to just stacking a fucking shelf or being in a call centre, which is something I've already done before and motivates me about as much as, a naked gay man does. Like, it's just not my thing. I don't know if it's that, a guy called Ryan Davis, one of the co-founders of a website called Giant Bomb, passed away the other day, and I was pretty invested in Giant Bomb. I've watched that podcast for more than 4 years. I've been a big part of that family, even though I've never met the people that are in it, and I feel profoundly close to people that I've never met because I relate to them and because they've invested so much time into putting themselves out there, and I've picked up on that and almost become, a member of that family. And as bizarre as it is to say that you're grieving about somebody you've never even met, I don't know if I am. Like, there's the percentage, there's the chance that I'm down because somebody who I respect, who I've listened to for a very long time and enjoyed the professionalism and the quality that they put out there into this world, has died at the age of 34, which is extremely humbling because, people die every day. They do. This is just life. This is the cycle of life and death, but it always brings it home when it's somebody who's part of your own persona or perspective. Because when someone dies, it is sad, but if it's nothing related to you, you can isolate yourself and distance yourself from it, and it always reminds you of your own mortality. It always reminds you of life is precious. It is. And are you wasting that life? Could you be doing something better, It's a really impactful realization when your life's not going the way you want it to. And when somebody dies at such a young age, it reinforces this fact that you never know what's going to happen. So it might be that's made my week kind of crazy. And there's no excuse for this at all. I'm such a fucking just whiny bitch for no real reason other than I can't explain. I've been to a barbecue with my girlfriend at her parents' house, and we've had some beers, some Jaeger, some good food, some good times, some good conversation. It's been great. I've been having a good time, but I still feel just weird, and I don't really know why. And that's why I'm voicing it on this commentary, because I can't really understand it. And it's one of those things where you can fight through it, you can put on the fake smile and everything, But I'm not the biggest fan of being all that fake. It's good when it's for someone else's benefit, but why the fuck should I do it for my own benefit? To me, that just seems completely pointless. And I don't really know why. And tomorrow, and the day after, depending on which day it is when my friends get back to me, we're going to all be going around my local town and drinking copious amounts of alcohol and having a really good time. And that's going to be a great time as well. And I'm hoping then I'm not going to feel this kind of lethargic, just strange feeling that I've had today. In just regards to my week, this juxtaposition of highs and lows and just, you know, just life. Just fucking life. And I've got a job application for a researcher that I'm waiting on some references for, that I'm going to be sending off. And it's a researcher into a games design course at a university near where I live. And it's a fantastic opportunity. It's something really interesting. It's an opportunity to do something kind of related to what I enjoy and what I'm passionate about, and it's also a platform for me to hopefully be able to interact with like-minded folks, and maybe even do some guest speaking in these lessons. Who knows, you know, where this could go. This could be a fantastic opportunity, or it could be nothing and I could get nothing back from it. It's that indecisiveness. So maybe that's playing on my mind of this opportunity that looks kind of good, that could blow up in my face and disappoint. I don't know, just an impasse of my own mind. But this sequence here, folks, you want to kill the ghosts, stay behind this like fountain thing that I'm up against. It's decent cover and they will have to circle around to kill you. Keep on checking your back just in case. This is the hardest difficulty, but I do seem to take quite a beating up close, which is refreshing, because normally up close on the harder difficulty you're essentially a sitting duck and as dead as that guy on the escalator in Die Hard 2. But this seems to be going okay. I don't know why I'm using my pistol at that distance. It seems kind of silly. I think I'm consciously thinking of the ammo for my rifle because there is a boss fight coming up, and the boss fight was the part I was worried about. This bit here is pretty simple, pretty standard. It's just shoot a load of dudes until it ceases and then the boss fight turns up. And what happens is, on my first encounter with the boss, I was down where those ghosts are and he spawned really close to me and I got a checkpoint super close to him. And it was tough because he's got a shotgun and he's accurate as hell. So I was getting my ass blasted. But on this playthrough, because I'm so far away, the boss spawns a mile away and I can just shoot him in the face as he gets towards me and he dies like a bitch and it's effortless. So it's a fantastic strategy and you're going to see it in the next video. So thank you for watching, folks, and you take care now.